From your groceries to your takeout,
There's just like a perfect storm brewing.
we help you find great deals.
What we deem to be $18 worth.
For $6.
For $6.
From travel
Everything's pretty high, so if you can get a discounted budget airline trip, do it.
to tech,
It's about a tenth of what a new device would cost.
we're helping you save as we head into 2025 so you don't waste your money. Hello, I'm John Matteries, and thank you for joining us for a Don't Waste Your Money special, saving money in 2025. You know, all year long, I look at ways to help you save money on everything from your car to your home to dining out to family vacations. I'm hoping that this half hour you walk away with a fresh take on how to trim your budget in the new year. First, families are allocating more and more of their money to groceries. Even though grocery prices have leveled off, there's always room to save.
I used to take a lot of time to make recipes with my roommates. That was a thing during the pandemic that we loved to do, to cook together and try new things.
Rising prices causing college student Leah Nyack to be one of many Americans changing their shopping habits. For tips to battle bulging prices, we turn to smart shopping expert Trey Bodge. She says, first, be flexible, especially if an item on your shopping list isn't on sale.
And you can maybe say, well, maybe I'll use chicken in my chili instead of beef and save a lot that way.
She also recommends stocking up on some non-perishables.
When you do run out of your fresh foods, then sometimes you turn to ordering in, and that becomes very expensive.
Trey says if you're buying the same things every week, see if there's something you can make yourself, like granola or hummus. Also, swap expensive name brands for generic.
There are so many great store brands or generic brands that often are made in the same factory. They have exactly the same ingredients.
Lastly, join your store's loyalty program and do a mix of in-person and online shopping. That way, shoppers like Shrita Kazampoli won't have to cut back on so many of their favorite things.
Cheese, butter, which we like, but we back off because of the prices.
One trend we saw over the past year, while prices eased at grocery stores, the price of food at restaurants skyrocketed. So we found some ways to help cut those costs while dining out in the new year. Chris Breeden owns a century-old restaurant and says soaring food prices are making dining out more challenging.
Things are definitely more expensive to eat out, which is pretty regrettable.
While the Consumer Price Index shows grocery prices now leveling out, Breeden says that's not what he's seeing, but he's looking for ways to keep costs down for diners.
You can't just pass on a doubling of the price of French fries, for example, to the consumer, because nobody's going to be paying $7, $8 for a side of French fries.
That means smaller or fewer side items.
85, 86, and 87.
Kristen Bailey, meantime, owns a food truck, Sweets and Meats Barbecue. She's cut back on expensive items to keep her prices affordable.
With proteins being so high, with an item like brisket, I'm losing 40% of what I'm actually paying for.
Hospitality management professor David Corson says higher utility bills also drive menu prices up, and softening demand is forcing some owners to rethink hours of operation.
What we've seen is a concentration of dining out that's basically Thursday through Saturday.
He says one way to cut costs is to skip delivery services, which charge a fee to you and the business.
You really want to support a local restaurant, order in and pick it up.
To manage your food costs, ask about reward or loyalty points, or skip the side of fries and cocktails that add up quick. Chris Breeden just hoped diners understand that restaurants are not price gouging.
There's just like a perfect storm brewing. Labor cost is up, cost of food's up.
Now, when restaurants, stores, or bakeries have some leftover food at the end of the day, a lot of that food ends up in the trash. But some new apps are helping them sell that surplus food.
This is a too good to go for today.
LaDawn Spivery shows us the day's surplus food treat, a brownie parfait.
So how many servings are you needing?
Her bakery, Sweets by LaDawn, regularly releases a surprise bag of cupcakes, cookies, fruit, and more at deep discount, all leftover food she used to throw out.
We have a lot of
waste from the leftover pineapple, the honeydews, the melons, the strawberries.
Now she sells these treats through the app Too Good To Go, which helps you rescue food from cafes, bakeries, or restaurants. One of her recent deals, an $18 surprise bag selling for just $5.99.
94 meal safe.
Janae Ward is a Too Good To Go customer.
I usually get up in the morning and I look just to see what's out there.
Who's on the lookout for deals.
But once again, you just got to catch it.
Other food waste apps include Flash Food, where you can order groceries nearing their best buy dates for up to 50% off. Also, Misfits Market and Olio. Keep in mind, you don't always know exactly what you're getting, and apps may not be in your area just yet. Flash Food primarily serves the Midwest and the East Coast. Too Good To Go is expanding thanks to a partnership with Whole Foods.
We are growing every single day. We have around 21,000 partners across the country who are saving food with us, and that number continues to grow and grow.
In the end, you cut down on waste and get a great deal.
What we deem to be $18 worth.
For $6.
For $6.
If you own or lease a car, you know that a big portion of your budget goes to vehicle maintenance and repairs. But if you skip some of that routine maintenance, like oil changes, it can cost you a lot more money down the road. Peter Mingo never misses an oil change, and if his Chevy Malibu throws him a warning light, he says he jumps onto it right away.
I try to get that fixed as soon as possible.
But too many drivers might be putting off maintenance, which is costly, according to certified mechanic Matt Overbeck.
We have seen cases of extended warranties where they will deny coverage because certain maintenance items weren't performed per the manufacturer's recommendations.
To help you keep your car in shape, technicians with Consumer Reports Auto Test Center shared 5 things they would never do to their own vehicles, like skipping oil changes, ignoring dashboard warning lights, or driving with worn out or damaged tires. Automotive writer and tester Mike Quincy recommends checking your tire pressure at least once a month.
If you're driving in the rain on worn out tires, your handling is going to get much worse. Your braking distances are going to get longer.
Consumer Reports technicians say they would never ignore a recall notice and never use an old school style touch car wash.
The kind of brushes that they use, the whirly things that slap your car as it's going through the car wash line, can really scratch your paint. It can leave swirl marks. So a touchless car wash is better.
Now, there's a shopping term being plastered all over social media these days. It's called spaving. And while you may not know what it means, you've probably done it more times than you think. It's a supposed blend of spending and saving, a trend called spaving. College student Aria Kononenko says she's seen it in stores.
Not the 50% off, but like buy one, get one.
Connie Kling says she's seen it too, where you have to spend more to save more.
You save money, but yeah. I guess so, sure, yeah.
But you end up spending more.
That's true. So, I don't know. That's good and bad, I think.
So we turn to a pair of experts for their take on spaving, Bankrate's Ted Rossman and consumer savings expert Andrea Warrock.
Spaving could look like buying more to get that bigger percent discount, or maybe buying 2 sweaters instead of 1 to get the third for free or third for 50% off.
It's a ticket to overspending.
Spaving also includes spending more to get free or same-day shipping, free trials that turn into paid memberships, or promotional deals like 10 items for $10.
But if you're buying something you don't need, it doesn't matter how cheap you got it, you're still spending money you probably shouldn't have.
There are cases when spaving makes sense, like stocking up on non-perishable food items.
You know, sometimes it does make sense to buy in bulk and it really drives that unit cost down, but only if you're going to use it.
If that's the case, spave away. Otherwise, experts say, stick to your original budget and avoid impulse purchases. That might mean deleting your saved payment information online or opting out of deal notifications.
Think about what triggers you to spend money and come up with ways to avoid them.
Coming up, when to refinance for the best savings. Plus, making sure you're not wasting your money on a home renovation. How to hire a trustworthy contractor you can afford. Thanks for staying with us for our Don't Waste Your Money special, Saving in 2025. Now, if you were forced to take on a mortgage with a 7 or 8% rate, one thing you may be looking to do to save money in the new year is to refinance. Well, we looked at whether to refi now or wait for even lower rates. Mortgage broker Paul Luck says he's busier than he's been in 2 years.
And we'll be able to go to the next step.
Awesome. Anything I need to do?
And we have a lot of customers calling us to do a refinance.
And there are options to do it now.
When you go from almost 8% rate down to a 6.25%, you're saving a lot of money.
Audrey Fuller is one homeowner paying a higher rate and hoping to refi her condo to lower her monthly payments.
I would like to see them under 5. It would be like $200 savings.
Every month?
Every month.
If you're considering a refi, don't forget expenses such as the application fee, appraisal fee, and credit report fee. Finance company Freddie Mac says the average closing costs on a refinance are about $5,000. The site Investopedia says plan for 2 to 6% of the loan amount. Danielle Hale with Realtor.com says to think about how much longer you'll be in the home.
Because the longer you're there, the more you get to reap the benefits of those savings. But if you're planning to move over the next few years, then it might not make as much sense to refinance.
Thinking of investing in a new kitchen or bathroom in 2025? Well, hiring a contractor can be an intimidating task and a huge investment. So we're looking at ways to find a contractor who you can trust.
Let's come on in and take a look.
Contractor Hannah Wells is putting the finishing touches on a full bathroom remodel.
This beautiful walk-in shower.
Turning what had been a dated 90s room with a wall of mirrors into a showcase.
This is a beautiful quartz ledge that we had installed.
Replacing this old school garden tub with
the sleek, new, modern aspects of these deep soaking tubs.
But finding someone to redo your bath or kitchen can be tough, especially with labor shortages. Hannah says to find the right contractor, start by getting referrals from friends and neighbors.
That's going to be the best, most authentic proof that they're somebody that is reputable.
Then get multiple quotes for the project in writing, never just a verbal quote.
It's essentially free education.
Pay in stages along the way, not all the money up front, and ask a lot of questions as work progresses. Also, Hannah suggests you look for a contractor who isn't afraid to show off their work on social media.
I found a lot of success being completely transparent with our projects on the internet.
With lots of before, after, and work in progress photos.
A first-hand representation of the quality of work that they offer.
And she shared some red flags to watch out for, such as a contractor who claims they're insured but can't show you the paperwork.
Ask them for a certificate of insurance.
Another red flag, a contractor who gives a quote that seems too low.
If it's cheap and it's fast, it's not going to be good.
Turning now to something we all do every week, the laundry. From using too much detergent to cranking the water temperature too high, there are some simple tweaks you can make to save money on every load. Brina Johnson has her hands full doing laundry for a family of 4.
I prefer Tide, but I will switch.
She says detergent costs really add up.
I do think it works the best, but it's not cheap.
So we turn to a pair of laundry experts for their savings tips. Cindy Bray, whose wad-free invention landed her a deal on Shark Tank, and Patrick Richardson, aka the Laundry Guy.
The number one mistake that people make doing their laundry is using too much detergent.
He says just 2 tablespoons is more than enough for a full load.
Your clothes will be naturally softer when you use less detergent because it rinses so clean, which removes the need for fabric softener or dryer sheets.
He says premium detergents contain less water, so while they cost more, you need less per load. With cheaper brands, Brina says,
I feel like then I spend more money probably just trying to get the same item clean or having to rewash it.
Richardson also says skip the pods.
You're paying extra for the convenience, and there's really too much detergent in them.
Bray's first saving strategy is washing with cold water.
Because a lot of the detergent on the market these days is actually formulated to work best in cold water.
She says save with a low heat setting for your dryer, even if you run the dryer longer.
You're going to save a lot of energy over running it on high, an average of 68 cents per hour for the average dryer.
Richardson says we can actually wash our clothes a lot less often.
Our clothes are going to last longer, and we're going to spend less money washing them.
Do budget airlines really help you save money? We have some great travel savings tips coming up. Plus, how to make money from your old electronics. You're watching a Don't Waste Your Money special, Saving in 2025. Welcome back, and thanks for tuning into our Don't Waste Your Money special, helping you save money in 2025. You know, travelers have a lot more options when it comes to booking flights these days. You can pay extra for a full service experience or try to save with a low cost carrier. But we found a low ticket price isn't the only thing to consider when booking. Low-cost airlines like Allegiant, Frontier, Southwest, and Spirit help make travel affordable for millions of people. College student Eric Henderson loves the last-minute low fares.
Sometimes if you're in a rush to get somewhere, the price is kind of great and you just hop on a plane and go, you know.
But Taïd Beydoun is not a fan of the extra fees that discounters have hit him with.
The price is great, but you got to pay for all the extra baggage that you take with you.
Looking at price point alone, Katie Nastro with the company Going says a budget airline is usually going to win. And now some low-cost airlines like Spirit and Frontier have eliminated some change or cancellation fees, making them more in line with Delta, United, and American.
Having that added flexibility that's not going to add to your overall cost is a really big win.
The obvious downside to a low-cost carrier, fewer perks like Wi-Fi, choosing your own seat, and snack and beverage options. You may also pay $50 or $60 for a carry-on bag. Where the big three airlines have an edge is during widespread delays or cancellations.
You're going to find far more options on a bigger legacy carrier than you would if you had taken a budget carrier, which might have only a few flights per day or one flight per day.
Of course, there are exceptions, as we saw with Delta's response to a recent software outage. If you can't risk a delay, you may want to pay extra for a legacy airline. But if price is most important, traveler Shannon Mesmith says,
everything's pretty high, so if you can get a discounted budget airline trip, do it.
One of the hottest travel trends of the past year, traveling solo. But without a group to help share the costs, we're looking at ways to travel alone on a budget.
It is definitely an explosion in the last few years.
Morocco, Venice, Cuba. That's just a sliver of the countries Mar Pagès has explored.
I've been traveling by myself for more than 20 years.
Pagès is co-founder of the site Solo Female Travelers, which offers travel advice and tours to women looking for solo adventures.
Traveling solo is this feeling of like, wow, I could do it by myself. I managed the entire thing by myself.
In a Booking.com survey, 59% of people were looking to venture alone this summer. Pinterest found searches for solo travel are up 35%. While traveling solo has its perks, what you don't have is a group of people to help split the cost. But travel companies are paying attention. Priceline promoted a Solo Explorer sale to help independent travelers save by bundling a hotel and flight to certain destinations.
People are looking for more enriching cultural and historical experiences.
In addition to bundling, Priceline's Leslie Klein says be flexible with your dates.
You can also look for free or more affordable activities.
Pagès recommends you set price tracking alerts for flights, stay in hostels or shared dorms, connect with hosts who let you stay in their homes, and pay in advance as much as possible.
If you're buying a package tour and it allows you to pay in installments ahead of the trip, that's fantastic.
If a solo trip sounds like it's for you,
relaxing, taking time for yourself, some me time,
add it to the budget now and you don't waste your money. Turning to tech now, new devices like the newest iPhone are popular gifts around the holidays. But that means if you have some older devices you no longer need, now may be a great time to sell them for cash. Brett Giselback's shop is getting busy.
Thanks for coming back multiple times. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Every time a new iPhone is unveiled, his Pay More franchise store starts buying up older models.
We will offer you cash anytime.
He says that's often a better deal than simply trading yours in.
You can pay rent, you can buy groceries, you can do whatever you want with the money that we give you because it's cash.
My 3-year-old phone could be worth $200 at his shop.
Absolutely, yeah, it's worth a lot.
CNET's Bridget Carey says even a 5 or 6-year-old device still holds some value.
In the end, it's cell phones really that make the most profit, and devices that people use all the time for school, like laptops and tablets.
She offered a few more avenues where you can make money. Carrie recommends the bidding service Declutter or online marketplace itsworthmore.com. Swappa is another option where you sell directly to another person. Best Buy will do a trade-in, but you'll get a gift card, not cash. When a device does get too old,
I really just take it to a store like Best Buy where they recycle it. I don't have to worry about it, and the clutter's out of my house.
before you sell, recycle, or trade a device, Apple on its website says make sure to transfer your information to a new device and delete personal info from your old one. The company Paymore says devices they buy undergo a thorough data wiping to protect your privacy, a step they'll handle for you. Anjanette France is glad she brought in her old device.
Looked it over and they are purchasing it.
And they're offering you some money?
They are.
If your phone's battery starts draining quickly, you may be tempted to trade it in for a newer, more expensive model. But if the phone itself is still in good shape, a simple battery swap could save you hundreds of dollars. Montley Berry gets a brand new phone when her battery won't hold a charge.
Typically, you want a new camera at that point, a better quality camera, so I just end up getting a new phone.
So does Trevor Booth.
I'd probably buy a whole new phone, honestly.
But with a new iPhone or Galaxy costing $800 to $1,000, why do that?
It's about a tenth of what a new device would cost to get a battery replacement.
Alex Hosfeld of YouBreak iFix by Assurian is stunned at how many people toss out a perfectly good phone.
To check the battery health?
He showed me how I can check my iPhone battery's life.
All we have to do is click battery health and charging. And so you're at 86%.
My iPhone 12 was close to needing a new battery.
Being 85% for those iPhones is really when it's recommended to get that battery replaced.
For $75 to $100, Alex says a new battery can give your phone potentially 2 more years. But when should you buy a new phone? Alex says if your phone's buttons or screen are damaged, or if it's no longer supported, like an iPhone 6 or 7. But if money's tight,
if it's in good shape and it's just the battery that's acting up, doesn't really make sense to buy a whole new telephone.
So that's our final money-saving tip for this half hour. But there's a lot more savings to find in 2025. So until then, don't waste your money. I'm John Matters.